Elon Musk has made history by becoming the first person ever to amass a fortune worth more than $500 billion. According to Forbes' Real-Time Billionaires Index, Musk's net worth surged past $500 billion mark on Wednesday, October 1st, solidifying his status as the world's richest individual. The sharp rise in Musk's wealth comes on the back of strong gains in the market value of his company, particularly Tesla and SpaceX, alongside steady investors' confidence in his ownership of social media platform X. The milestone places Musk well ahead of Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, who had briefly overtaken him in September after a rally in Oracle's shares. Elon's net worth currently stands at $350.7 billion, leaving Musk once again at the top of the global rich list. The billionaire entrepreneur's journey to the historic $500 billion threshold has been fueled by Tesla's rapid growth in electric vehicle sector, SpaceX dominance in commercial space exploration, and continued innovation across its portfolio of ventures. Analysts note that Musk's fortune is highly tied to the performance of his companies on the stock market, meaning fluctuations in shares prices could shift his standing in the future. Still, the achievement underscores his unrivaled influence in both technology and business. Musk's latest feat cements his place in financial history, not only as the wealthiest man alive, but also the first to cross a wealth figure once thought impossible for a single individual. Vice President Shettima has returned to Abuja following his participation in the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York and a series of high-level engagements in Germany. His return was confirmed in a statement issued on Thursday in Abuja by his spokesman Stanley Unga. According to the statement, during the week-long international engagements, Vice President Shettima represented President Bola Tinubu by delivering Nigeria's national statements before world leaders at the UN General Assembly. In his addresses, he reiterated Nigerians' call for comprehensive reforms of the United Nations to make the global body more inclusive and reflective of current realities. Shettima also championed African sovereignty over its natural resources, stressing that the continent must retain control over its estimated $700 billion worth of mineral wealth. He noted that such resources should be enhanced to drive industrialization and sustainable development, rather than being exploited under unfair international agreements. The Vice President also held a number of bilateral and multilateral meetings amid strengthening Nigeria's global partnership. He gained with representatives of the United Kingdom and the Gates Foundation and other international stakeholders to deepen cooperation in critical areas such as healthcare, education, energy, and economic development. In a separate engagement, Shettima met with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who commended Nigeria's leadership role in Africa and expressed support for the country's aspiration to secure a permanent seat in the UN Security Council. Following his inaugural activity, Shettima proceeded to Germany, where he held strategic discussions with business and political leaders on opportunities to trade, investment, and technology transfer between Nigeria and Europe's largest economy. Political analysts have described Shettima's trip as significant in advancing Nigeria's foreign policy agenda, particularly in advocating for Africa's place in global governance, while also pursuing economic partnerships that can support President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda at home. With his return to Abuja, the Vice President is expected to brief the President on the outcomes of the engagement and outline next steps for consolidating and commitments secured during the international meetings. Thanks for stopping by.